It's the Wednesday wrap-up show with the Black Comic Lords.
What's up? What's up? I hate to say this, but it's been a slow week. There's nothing for us to talk about. We were debating whether or not we were going to have a show because there's absolutely nothing going on in the comic world right now. Isn't that right?
Nathan.
Definitely not in the Black Panther world. Definitely not in the Black Panther world.
Like the biggest story ever.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
What's up, chat?
I have to warn everyone in the chat. You may wish to remove your smoke detectors.
Say shout out to Spider-Man. I did say that went Sunday night. Y'all gonna listen to the prophet.
Did he just refer to himself as the prophet?
The prophet.
Oh, we gotta roll with that one. Prophet Rich.
No, I mean, how's everybody doing? Is everybody okay? Is everybody all right?
I'm good in the fan, man. I'm on vacation.
Okay, that's good. Well, you know what? I'm gonna light a candle. Going to light a candle.
Is that what you're lighting?
I'm gonna light a candle.
Is there green stuff in that candle?
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
I'm sorry, fam. Rich is on one tonight, apparently.
It's a good time. It's all good.
Shout out to Wayne Bukar with the 10-pound, not $10, 10-pound super chat.
What's going on, Wayne?
Thank you,
what up, Wayne. Our mate from across the pond, the 10 quid. Appreciate it, bruv.
Salute.
All right. So listen, we have a number of hot topics to discuss tonight. I asked the team, what are we going to talk about? Because all I talk about is just, what's coming out in comics, which we'll get into what came out this week. In order of what I listed, let's start with Angel's topic. Angel, you had a topic for us.
I did. I think it was along the lines of validation.
Don't try to couch it. Don't be ambassadorial. Go ahead and bring the flames, Angel.
Well, the question is posed in many discussions, and it came up recently in our group. Comic books aren't valid unless they're validated by the other folk. Do we need that?
Is that true, everybody? You know what's interesting? What comes up in our space?
I would say. Go ahead, Paul. I'm gonna let you.
What comes up in our space all the time is the dichotomy, because we see a lot of people come through with comments and posts and stuff like that. And the big complaint is you post a post about Black Panther or Storm, it gets all the likes and all the comments, but and a lot of those comments are, well, why can't this character be like this? Why can't Black Panther do this? Why can't Storm be like this? Why won't the big companies, do this with the character? And then the indie publisher does a post displaying all the things that we say that we want, and it gets like 2 likes.
Exactly. All the things.
Why does the big 2 get all the love, even though they're giving us substandard stuff towards our community? Why don't our creators get the same amount? Not even asking for more, just equal amount of attention and notice and accolades. I mean, I did this interview with N. Stephen Harris a few weeks ago. That dude's art is phenomenal.
Oh, it is. I love.
How is he not a household name in the comic book community? That's crazy to me. Patrick Sargent says under the radar biases. Which one were you going to say, man?
There is.
What?
Profit Rich. Profess thy gospel.
I don't really have much to say other than when it comes to these kind of things, at the end of the day, the big two have more resources. They have a bigger PR machine. They have story characters. They have everything, cartoons, merchandise. They are the stuff of pop culture, period. And just because you got a bright idea to do a comic book and you use brown number 5 does not automatically mean that you're going to get a look. Now, truth be told, I think that the validation that we're talking about, it doesn't hurt if you have people on the commercial side rock with your product. Shout out to Lonzo Star, who was at DreamCon and reportedly sold out of books.
Sure did.
I think Lavoie, Crescent City Monsters, he sold out books. I'm not sure if Greg Burnham sold out books, but those are 2 creators that have been in our space that was at DreamCon, a black con, which was in H-Town this year. And the word is they're going to be back in H-Town next year. And if I'm still alive and still walking around here talking about black superheroes and all that, I will definitely make sure I'm at DreamCon next year. So it's possible for our characters to get the love. Trouble is, we don't believe that our ice water is as cold as the white man's ice water. That's just what it is. That's just what it involves. Also, our stories have to transcend. A lot of stories don't transcend. And it's like when your story or your character has a hero's journey or whatever, when it transcends racial boundaries and things of that nature, a lot of times this stuff don't get looked at because, whether you may be Latino, you may be Asian, you're looking at a black superhero, you might not think this is for you. That's a real thing. Now, I'm going to be honest. Some of us black folk look at some of these black characters and don't think this is for me. So what do you do when you have that dynamic? Because that exists in our community. This disdain for ourselves. Folk talk about things like people are tossing words around like black fatigue and this, that, and the third. And, it's a real thing. But I just think that at the end of the day, if these black creators, independent creators had the resources, the platform, the merch, the bells and whistles that Marvel and DC has, they would sell. But they don't.
So basically you're saying a lot of this comes down to marketing.
Well, no. Let me add a big chunk. Big chunk. Okay. I'm at the tables at the cons. I'm at the LCS stores on behalf of creators. There's a huge element of avoidance because the person sees someone that looks like them on a comic book. And this is, any of the creators will tell you, I've been doing this a few years, and yes, we can attribute to marketing. Okay, well, I don't go to LCSs, I don't go to cons, and I never knew about the comic book. Yes, that can be a chunk of it. But being day in and day out, 12 hours on a lot of shows, and you'll see someone headed your way, they avert their eyes just because they see someone Black at the table. Let's talk about that. So those that say, oh, well, make me fall in love with the character. Well, you have to be curious first. If you're averting your eyes and walking away, how are you going to discover anything? That's my question.
Yeah. I mean, Angel, I think that what you're saying is definitely key. But I also think too that, you know, we have we Black presence invites a certain dynamic. When we're in spaces, fair or unfair, right or wrong, it is what it is. I work in the public every day. I am not 100 pounds wet. I have a bald head, and sometimes I can have a scowl on my face. I'm a little large, and so I get looks, I get not looks, I get stares, I get all kind of different, just because I'm doing my job. I'm just living life. And so that's something that, right or wrong or whatever, it is a thing. So when you talk about pop culture or comics or things of that nature, Paul can attest to this. He interviewed in Harris. He introduced the Harris brother that did the Dreadlocks book. He talked about how that sometimes he couldn't get nobody to buy books, but if there was a white person at his table, that people would come up and they would engage. So I'm going to ask all of the independent Black creators, do yourself a favor and get your white avatar. Hire you a white person? Hire you a white person to just stand at your table. Just hire them, give them some comic books, whatever it is they like to eat. You know, just hire you a professional white billboard to just stand at your table and watch the little nigglets come.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, man, I said,
Wow.
Prophet
Hold
Rich,
on.
bring the
Hold on a second.
the gospel.
My bad.
No. You brought the gospel.
Okay.
You know it's bad when our producer is doing the disclaimer before even I even say to do it.
Oof.
All right.
Oof.
So, you know, Rich is speaking facts. As evidenced by Rippaverse. That brother's got a bunch of white avatars. Right?
Yep.
I mean, other than Kanan White, I think the large majority of the people that are working in Rippaverse are white.
No, he's got actually a few. He's got a sister named Gothics that's working for him as well.
I said the large majority of people working at Rippaverse are white. And he does white characters, white stories. He does it all. And he's highly successful. Now, we can argue all day about how some of that success is, of course, due to his political, you know, stuff that he's done in the past and the base of people, the supporters he gained from that. But, you know, Rich says all the time, you need to start with the story. What is it a good story? Tell a good story. Make the art dope. Start with that before anything else. Because we can't, on the other side of it, say, well, hey, I got a Black book, support it. I remember going to I went to MegaCon and saw this Black creator And he was like, support my book. I'm a Black creator. My book is dope. It's just as good as X, Y, and Z. And I'm looking at it. It is objectively not as good as X, Y, and Z. I'm sorry. I bought it anyway to support the brother. But, you know, you got to have good stuff. You got to have good stuff.
Okay.
Not to get that initial buy, but to get, if you're in this for the long haul, you're not doing it to sell one book. You're doing it to sell that one book and then hook that reader to want to buy everything else that comes afterwards. And that's without having that type of investment where people want to see the next issue. You're never going to be a Marvel or DC where people are waiting for the next issue and are willing to continue to support your book over the long haul, which is what those comics have been able to do over the last 80 years or whatever. There is that aspect of it.
So, though you're talking about those that don't meet the bar, I am solely talking about those that do.
Oh yeah, of
And
course.
that's where the conversation is really heavily weighed, because when you meet all the things, why is there an aversion? That's my question. That's where we're heavily weighted. I'm not talking about those that don't meet. There's a lot of that. You know, people are struggling. People don't know how to do lettering, or they don't know the right paper, or whatever the pitfalls are before they get that perfected work. We're talking about those that do all the things and there's still avoidance. That's what I want to address.
Let me ask you this, Angel. Is it there's an old saying, we say, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. I just talked a little bit about DreamCon a little bit earlier. DreamCon largely is a blurred con. It's very black, and it is a con that many blurs that love manga, anime, comics go to. So, when our creators are in these spaces that are light-skinned, I'm just saying, is there something to that? Because the community is the community wherever we are, and I agree with that. It shouldn't be an issue, but it is. So my question is, what is the solution? Is the solution for us to try to just do our own thing and be in our own spaces and then just let them do what they do? Because they're going to continue to do what they do in the quote unquote their spaces. We could try to, terraform it. We could try to fit in, but is that the answer, or has that worked? So I'm just asking.
I mean, historically, when we really are mindful and conscious of supporting each other, we break barriers all day long, no doubt, and continuously. And bringing and highlighting that subject of that avoidance. Oh, that person is not white or light skinned, so let me avoid. Now, what I have uncovered for a lot of those customers or people that are buyers, comic book collectors, there's an aversion, and it may be conscious or unconscious, that they think if there's a Black main character, that the stories are automatically about the struggle. Right. No, there's space, there's science, there's everything. And because it's a preconceived idea that every day I live my life and I have to watch out for the cops and I have to do this and I have to do that, and I don't know if at work they're going to fire me because they don't like me, and the environment and the politics, I don't want to look at a comic book and worry about it rehashing what I just lived through when I, was outside, and I get that. But they're, a lot of people are not actively paying attention and being conscious of, we have to care about ourselves first for other people to care about us. And that starts with just being inquisitive. If you're
Right.
not even looking, if you're not even asking, you're not even talking, what are you complaining about? They don't think about, oh, let me get this Black Panther comic book. Let me get this Storm comic book. Let me get Miles Morales comic book, because finally we're being acknowledged. That's the validation.
Well, let me ask you a question then. There's validation in terms of, I wish to seek the approval of these others in order to determine whether or not this is a character I wish to support, or whether or not I'm successful, or what have you. But then there's a much more pragmatic analysis of all this. At the end of the day, always chase the money. Follow the money trail.
Mhm.
What is the most long-standing Black-led superhero comic of all time?
Spawn.
Spawn. Yeah.
How often does Spawn engage in those things that Angel was talking about? The struggle. How often do we have Spawn talking about his struggle, fighting with the man, experiencing racism, etc.?
You don't.
He's dead. he's
Right.
dead.
So look, in order to truly be successful, you could have a Black comic that is supported 100% by Black people. With those numbers, would that be the number one selling comic in America?
I like a
So
Blurdy's point here.
I would answer that with, just like anything else that we absolutely love, they would love it too. And that's the challenge. That's the hurdle.
That's not my question though. My question though is, let's say we had a comic and every single Black comic collector bought that comic. Would that comic be successful based on that alone? No, I
If it was just Black people.
If it was just Black people. If it was just Black people.
Numbers wise, no. That in the United States, globally,
so
yes.
you have to have some type of mainstream appeal in the book in order to truly be financially successful.
Right.
In the way that we determine what's.
But you're dismissing the point that when we love something, they love it too.
Well, that's because we're readers. And if we love something, it's because it's a good story, not just because it has a Black face on it, right? It's a Black face that has a good story on it.
But you're missing it. So like sneakers, like music, like the type of car. Like Cadillac was saved by us, right? When the economy had crashed and car industry was crashed and everything was horrible, because Black people at the time weren't allowed to have bank accounts, and we had cash in our mattresses, and we went out and bought Cadillac cars. GM survived because of the Black dollar, and then that also became a luxury car. That was us that did that. What I'm saying is, when we love something, they love it too. And the challenge is to really preserve and love our own stuff and not have this aversion. If it's bad, it's bad. I'm not talking about bad crap. I'm talking about when it's good.
Yeah, we're the tastemakers. I mean, that's without question. We know we're the tastemakers. Whatever we come up with, they will eventually try to emulate or take over, usually in that order. I like this comment by Dre from the Land. Spawn is blackface, mostly face covered. Is that a real Black comic? Does the majority of Black audiences relate to Spawn? That always comes up when we discuss Spawn, because it's one thing to say he's the number one Black-led comic of all time, but does that make him a Black comic? In the sense that, is his Blackness have any agency on his story?
I have a question for y'all.
Yeah.
I have a question for y'all. What is it about your life that says I'm black every day?
Great question. Great question.
Because here's the thing. I don't go around, and this is for all the Negroes in the chat and the hoteps. I don't go around telling people I'm black. I don't go around acting like blackness is where it's at. I don't go around acting as if the struggle continues. I don't go around quoting Marcus Messiah Garvey, even though I know his stuff. I don't go around quoting Dr. John Henry Clark, though I know his stuff. I just am. And so why do I need to read a book where someone is telling me, I'm black, right? You know it's about the struggle, right? You know I'm about to beat up this white boy, right? That's goofy. That's goofy. That's lazy. And that's clownish. You want somebody to write a story where you care about the protagonist. You care about the story. You care about where the story is going. If you're talking about superheroes, you care about the hero's journey. I mean, we act like being black is a video game.
I don't think that was it at all. I don't think we're looking at it. I think that's where the aversion comes from, is the fear that the story
that's what I'm
is going to
saying,
be
Angel. That's what I'm saying.
But it's not true.
That's what I'm saying. But that's so low hanging fruit when it comes to us. I mean, people think about this. Alexander Dumas wrote Three Musketeers and
Count of Monte Cristo.
The Count of Monte Cristo. Now, if you were a boot that had not known that Alexander Dumas was black, you would swear that was written by a French dude, a white, pasty white French dude. You would have no idea that something that of that literary significance was written by a black man. We could learn a lot from history if we take the time to study and stop listening to YouTubers.
We're on YouTube, Rich.
I don't care.
You just told everybody not to listen to us. What's going on?
No, I didn't say let us. I said YouTubers. Now, we're not the only YouTubers.
Who'd you talking about?
This thing. I'm saying? It gets on my nerve, though. Because, again, I understand the thought that a character, if a character is culturally black, he's only got one or two tricks up his sleeve, and that's all he can be. He either got electrical powers, he got to beat up somebody white, he got to have an angst against Superman. He could be a Marvel character. He got to hate Superman. I mean, y'all make it make sense for me. But all I know is that Rodney Barnes wrote a comic book called Philadelphia. Black characters in it, white characters in it, or whatever.
Yeah.
Masterpiece. Chef's kiss. It was not goofy. He wasn't filling his comic book with how oppressed we are. It was a horror comic. We literally seeing, Seesaw and other characters be heroic in the book. That's what doing a comic book looks like, a right comic book. Kevin Greavy, his Darkstorm stuff. Why are we crying about Blue Marvel? He's got a Blue Marvel book. It's called Darkstorm.
It's so good.
I'm just saying, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all have it, man. I'm gonna wait till the real conversation because the troll is in the building. Shout out to Hershey. What up, bro?
Y'all, wait. Y'all didn't have the main steak menu item. Y'all didn't talk about that yet?
Herschel only shows up in these things when he's got something that he wants to troll on.
Yep.
And he's been blowing up. He's been blowing up the space for the last 24 hours.
But Paul, Marvel stole any thunder that they're doing everything. I don't want to say doing everything for me.
Herschel, you're trying to change the topic.
I don't find any pleasure in what's going on. Trust me. Can we get to that though? Because y'all talking about
that you're doing things in order. You don't show up late and then say stop what you're doing after we establish you're doing things in order.
Especially after having a whole show this morning.
Yeah, you already talked about it at length, brother. Come on, let us Do one thing.
I'm playing. I'm messing with y'all. Go ahead.
Your beard game is strong, though. I appreciate that.
Nah,
He's like,
I feel
no.
like Richard,
He
man.
using that black number 5.
No, I'm actually at the gray come at too. I'm at
That's
the gray comment.
that's Midnight Black 7. What are you talking about, man? That's Midnight Black.
And say, I'm looking at you, Hershey. I know you dyed your beard. I'm scratching over it. I'm itching just looking at it.
Oh, I'm done though,
Man.
because that stuff can't be healthy for you. I started thinking about it. I said, man, all that every other week you haven't hit that can't be healthy for you, man.
Man, I told a dude one time I was at Ollie's and he was in the section where they have the dye. I told him, I said, bro, give it up, man. Let that go. Gotta let the grape. He started laughing. I said, gotta let life be good to you. You know what I'm saying? Try to dye your hair, try to be 20 years younger. Let it go. Just let it go, bro.
All right. So moving on to we're going to segue to the next aspect of this. Because in essence, we're saying, look, we kind of need to self-validate, validate our own. We have plenty of Black comic creators that are out there giving us the stuff that we need. And we still every day, every week, sit here and talk about Marvel and DC. Who routinely keep letting us down. I mean, let's keep it on.
But look who's showing up for it. Look who's showing up for it. We got. Listen, let's keep it a buck. We got 73 people that I can just see. That's just what that's showing up for the Marvel and DC smoke. Mostly the T'Challa smoke.
I got it.
Are we following the numbers? Are we following the money? What if we did a show strictly on a Black indie for the next couple of months?
Oddly enough, Herschel, the title of this episode is not Black Panther. The title of this
everybody
episode
knows
is,
we get, but everybody knows
It
we
doesn't
don't
have to
talk
be
about
tonight.
I got black pills. I'm handing out black pills tonight.
Those are big. Those are like black bullets.
I don't get some black pill stuff tonight.
Those look more like bullets, bro.
This these big ones. You need to drink these with a lot of water.
Those are some broken crayons is what those are.
All right. So
just one thing. I just want to say I hear both Rich and Angel, and I think both are true. I think if you're indie at all, and definitely a Black indie, you're already starting out a race where the big two are way ahead of you just because of the whole engine they have for distribution, marketing, and everything else. But at the same time, to Angel's point, yeah, I guess when you walk into a Comic-Con and you see white indies and Black indies, and Angel, what you're saying is, hey, both of them have the same disadvantage versus the big boys, right?
Right.
And when somebody walks in that con, they're more likely to spend time with and to be open to learning more about the white creator than the Black one. That's what you're observing, right?
That's what I'm observing. Yes. In real time, like every show. It's not even maybe the big show, maybe the little show. It's every show, no matter the size. There's a number of people that partake, and they just have an aversion to the table. They see someone Black, and they're like,
"Can I do?"
Hold on. Herschel's falling asleep. Let me do this.
No, I'm straight. I actually have something to say in regards to what Angel's talking about.
I have an idea, though. I have an idea. Okay, this is an idea. Could
we actually lost 2 viewers when I did that, by the way. Yo, as y'all are watching, please hit the like button. Let's pause for a second. Please hit the like button. We should have at least 69 likes right now. Please hit the like button. Share the video. We're a small station. We're trying to get bigger. Share the video off your social medias. I don't care where you share it, whatever platform. Just share it and like the video.
I don't know what you're talking about. We small.
We small, man.
Pause.
We ain't got 1 million viewers, 1 million followers.
We don't need 1 million followers. I need 5,000 right followers. That's what I.
We don't even have that.
Comiclords.
We don't even have that.
I know.
Let's get to 5,000.
Let me ask a question. If there is a single page in every Black indie comic that just lists 5 to 10 other Black indie comic runs or companies so that we're increasing awareness overall. Is that something we could achieve?
With QR codes so that people can scan them and immediately go to the pages to go buy the books. I think that would be a smart marketing.
Is it possible for that type of cooperation to happen?
Let's ask our logistics expert.
Yes.
No.
It's not
Oh,
a comic
no,
book problem.
yes.
It's not a comic book problem. It's more of a us problem. A lot of our problems are bled over from parts of our culture that we haven't fixed. And comics happen to be in the middle because we're the Black comic lords. But a lot of the stuff we're talking about, organization, getting in line, support, we had that problem across the board. So
I'm addressing something completely different. Because I know I got what you're talking about, right? You're talking about the same thing Angel is talking about.
Right, I'm just following. That's the part.
But I'm talking about the like in business 101, you have the marketing funnel. The first thing is awareness. You know, I can't even consider something if I'm not aware of it. Right?
Yes.
I can't go anywhere without seeing Marvel characters all over the place. Same for DC. I have to look really hard to find a Black indie if I'm not in a comic book store or in this room here. So awareness is a huge problem, and we have to figure out how our platform here, Black Comic Lords, how indies themselves can help each other to create awareness.
I'll tell you how they did it. They did it back in the 90s in hip hop. Y'all remember the Native Tongues?
Mm-hmm.
Vaguely, yes.
Native Tongues. We had De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest.
Yep.
You know, Jungle Brothers, Moni Love.
They were collective. Yeah, they were collective.
They were collective. But if you watch their music videos, they always put each other on. They always did collabos together, right? They always share those resources. Because when you're with a record company and they say, here's your budget for a music video, and then you know how significant it is to put your mans and them up the street that's part of your clique in the video, so that people be like, who's that person? So that you can put them on so they can advertise for their joint coming out. That type of collaboration can happen in comics. To Derek's point, it is literally nothing to have a page that says, you like this title? Here's some other dope stuff you can go check out. The problem, probably, Derek, would be that type of thing only happens when all the other artists are on the same publisher, because the publisher of the comic, not the creator owner, but the publisher, doesn't want to advertise someone else, some other publishing company. That's where you have the problem. Now, if you're a Black-owned publisher, you could do whatever you want. If you want to advertise somebody else's stuff, that's on you. But that's where being an owner and being a boss, as Damon Dash always says, is key to your freedom. Right?
I can add though.
Got to be a boss.
I can tell you, Derek, though, that's what I'm working on as someone that does logistics, and I'm in the background. I'm slowly cultivating that the companies that I work with, their stuff gets advertised on my pro page on a regular basis. And that's right now it's just on Instagram because I'm really trying to shift from corporate clock in to full-time consulting. And once that shift is complete, it will have that when I'm at shows, it won't be just, the clients I have for that particular show, they would also be able to see all the other people that I'm working with. And I have no loyalty to my clients other than, I don't have like a silo. It doesn't matter the publisher. It doesn't matter. It's just, if it's good material, then I'll tell you about it. So I am working on that, and I think I'm the first of my kind to be doing that. But if you look at my Instagram, you will see everybody that I've collabed with, and then some.
Shout out to Kanan White, Joe Illich, Fred Littles in the building, the chat. Appreciate y'all.
Y'all sure y'all want to be here? I got black pills. I'm handing out black pills tonight.
Boy, leave these brothers alone. Joe, check your email, man. Give me an email. Respond to my email I sent you, Joe Village.
Yeah, check the inbox, Paul. You might have one sitting there.
So I will say this. I will say this. Paul, you mentioned the native tongues.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but here's the thing about the native tongues that made the native tongues so dope. They were all dope. And you got to have a squad that's dope. Wise Acre put out dope product.
Yep.
Concrete put out dope product.
Yep. I
can see them doing a collab. But you're not gonna get like, if I had a comic book company, Little Daddy Comics. and Little Daddy Comics is drawn by a 5-year-old. Can I get love? Can I get some love? Hotep, my brother. Can I get some love? Why you hating on my comic book? Why you hating? Why you hating? That's how we can't get nowhere as a people. I know my comic book like it's been written by a 5-year-old, but we won't be brothers. We in the struggle together. What about that? What about that? What about that, Paul? Black comic lords. Y'all tell me I ain't black.
I tell y'all, brother's on one tonight.
I'm just being facetious.
Cool, Joe.
I'm being facetious.
All right, so this is a segue to Derek's topic. Derek wanted to talk. We talk about the black indies, support black indies. The number one way a lot of these black indies seem to promote their brands and put out their books is with Kickstarters. And Derek had some questions on that.
Yeah,
Derek,
I'm trying to remember how I put this. What was the question I asked?
Derek, don't punk out, dude. You can't say I'm gonna bring flames. I'm gonna bring flames in Black Comic Lords tonight. I'm gonna hurt feelings. People won't realize that Dr. Wizard got a whole bunch of smoke for everybody.
There's a big ass black pill here.
Oh my goodness! I don't even think that's gonna fit in anybody's mouth. What?
No, how did I put the question though? I'm trying to pose the question. That's a flat pill. All right. Maybe somebody choked on that one. How did I put the question? I'm trying to find it. If you can find it, Paul.
Where's that heat, Derek? Where's the smoke, bro?
I'm trying to find it. Hold on.
While Derek sits there and tries to gather his thoughts together, please hit the like button.
He got it.
Okay. Kickstarter ills. Should buyers beware or just be patient? What obligations do creators have to their supporters and to their fellow creators?
Those are like 2-3 questions, man. Let's do the first question first.
Okay. Should the buyers beware or just be patient?
Now, what made you ask that question? In what reference are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm going to be. Yeah, I'll be really open. I know I personally have invested in quite a few Kickstarters. Some of them have delivered, and some of them haven't.
And that shook you to your core.
Some. You're waiting. All right, Paul. And then some, and some that haven't delivered yet, they have though been very transparent, and these, given regular updates, been very responsive. And my concern is twofold, right? And I'm not going to call anybody out because I know everybody's trying to do their best, right?
They are. We have to give grace.
Yes, absolutely, give grace. But my concern is if you can't deliver and you can't be transparent, then you might be impacting some of your fellow creators because you might be creating a bad experience for a person who's done one Kickstarter, or this is their second Kickstarter, and now they might not do another one. I think we have to be.
You're saying it's a bad look.
It's a really bad look.
It is a bad look. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I've been on several Kickstarters. It's a bad look, and you don't deliver and late and not talking. And
for somebody, if somebody's going to basically contribute $100, $200, you owe them a lot of communication, basically.
Yes, I agree.
At a minimum, right? And so that's the first thing. But then, my second question was, do creators have obligations? What obligations do creators really have to their supporters, and what obligations do they have to their fellow creators as well? Because this is a platform that doesn't really enforce a lot, Kickstarter. So now you're relying on a group to kind of, maintain a sense of integrity and communication so that you have trust between the creators and the community. And my concern is that we don't have that trust because integrity gets lost, then fewer people are going to participate. And then one of the major channels that are available, especially for some of the new guys who don't have all the infrastructure, now that's gone for them.
So let me ask you a question. And this is a generalized question. I generally do not know the answer to this question. And I don't mean to offend anybody, any creators that are using Kickstarters. But here's the question I have. Actually, it's a question based on this statement here from Kanan White. It's almost best to not launch a Kickstarter until you have all the work finished on all fronts, so that all you need is funding to get it printed. Otherwise, as a buyer, proceed with caution. Now, that's actually an interesting point. In my experience, I seem to notice a pattern where Kickstarters are used to actually create the book instead of funding simply the printing. You hire an artist to do a dope cover, a couple pages, and you put a synopsis of where you're going with the story and say, give me money so that I can pay the artist to complete the book and I can finish writing it and we'll eventually get the book to you. At what point do you stop using Kickstarter to fund making the book? I mean, the term Kickstarter is supposed to kickstart your endeavors. It's not supposed to be your only business plan, right? If that's your entire business model, that every book I do from now for the next 5-10 years is going to be, every issue is going to be a Kickstarter, is that a healthy business plan?
No.
And I think the answer is no. For the reason that Rich and I complain, or Rich and I are still buying Marvel and DC books, because we need that month.
Need my fix. Need my fix.
We need our fix. We have been trained for 50 years to have our monthly fix on comics. And
them
if
YNs
you want
be putting up them dollar bills. Look at this.
Yo, on the real, we need to take a picture of you doing that. Put that up.
I'm just saying.
That's hilarious.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, no, for real though, like that can't be your business model for longevity. It's what I mentioned before. There's a difference between you going for the quick sell versus having longevity in the game.
Yep.
At some point, you kind of need to move your business model to producing books on a regular basis if you wish to supplant the big two who flood the market with mediocre books.
Yes.
But guess what? They're still flooding the market, and that's how they stay in business. Because even though their books are not as good as these independent books, because they're putting out so much every month, people have no choice, but to go ahead and buy some of those books in a manner of speaking, particularly when you have a demographic that's constantly changing. You got people coming in, you got casuals getting involved, movies coming out gets more interest in buying the books, video games cause more interest in buying the books. You have a lot to fight as an independent creator.
Yeah.
But having invested in making your customers loyal by having those books out on a regular basis I think that will help your longevity.
So to answer that though, it's the how to. And for a lot
I
of
don't have the answer to
creators,
that.
I do though. So I'm plugging myself on that one.
Before you
So the
give the
how
answer,
to.
shout out to Anthony Davis. Thank you for your super chat.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.
All right, Angel's about to put y'all on some game.
So the thing is, and I have said it over and over, the reality is, and in the comic book industry, if you want to learn and know what the best practices are over the generations of comic books, there's no school to go to. And a lot of the industry gatekeeps. They feel that if you sell a book, then that's money that they're missing out on, and it's just not true. 7 billion people on the planet. Oh, there's money for everybody to eat. And this is what I'm cultivating, is that I have best practices. I've been in the back rooms and the kitchen tables and all kinds of versions of success. And I've put plans together depending on the size of your company, if it's just an idea, or you've existed for 10 or 15 years and you can't see. I can, because it's not me, but I do have the expertise to put you on the right track so you're not on those pitfalls. And the how-to is what's missing. When they do the Kickstarters, everybody's doing the Kickstarters. It seems easy. It's a challenge. It's hard work. I'll tell you what, it's not easy whatsoever, but that can't be it. That cannot be it. And if you want different, you want success, you got to put a little bit of investment to get those answers. So now there's a school for creating comic books, and it's me. That's it. That's my plug.
That's the shameless plug. Kanan White says you have to shift your mindset from being a creator that making graphic novels to, if serious, aiming to become a real publisher. That's the goal, man.
Yes.
I need more people saying I need to be a publisher. You know, Godhood Comics is doing that.
Yep.
A complete business is not just creative,
business.
right?
It's not just creative. I mean, take some business classes. Go talk to people that are successful in the game. Sebastian Jones, that brother has a lot of stuff figured out. He's a great resource, and he's willing to talk to people. Lonzo Star at Concrete, always willing to put people in the game. Talk to people that are successful at what they're doing, that go to a con and say, you know what, I sold out of everything. You know,
and there might be some things you see about one company that you like, while they might not do everything well. There's some things to do well. Like if there's a company that's able to put stuff out like clockwork, or to meet all of the expectations that they're setting, then go ask about that and figure out how they do that. If there's somebody else that, I don't know, doing something else well, then ask about it.
I do have one suggestion for creators, and because I'm gonna be honest, I don't want nobody to think that we got all the answers. I know I don't, but I will say this. If you want people to be vested in your characters or in your IP, you need to talk about your characters. You need to talk about what makes this character dope. If you get on a live stream, if you live stream on Instagram or TikTok or however you presenting your product to people, if you have a character and you want to tell people what makes this character dope. Let me tell you about, my character such and such. He's a complicated guy. She's very, very conflicted. She's got a lot going on, and reveal certain things without giving away your sauce, so to speak. Get people really invested in what makes your character tick. and how do you relate to your character? I see a lot of people talk about their product and stuff, right? And this, that, and the third, and the art and all that. And that's cool. But where is the creative process coming from you when you make this product, when you make this art? When I go to an art museum and I'm looking at the art, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the end product. I'm not looking at the beginning of it. I'm looking at the finished product. But if I sit there long enough and look at the art, I got to think about, this was a blank canvas at one point. How did it get from this small piece to this huge mural that I'm looking at? Share a little bit about what you got going on. I think that also would help. I see a lot of dudes is putting out Kickstarters and that. Do what you got to do to get the funds. All I'm saying is that trust your consumers. And I'm gonna say something. I learned this lesson at 16 years old. Listen to your customers, because the customer is always right. Customer's always right. Customer is always right. The customer is always right. You ain't like something that OG Rich said about shipping your books? The customer is always right. You didn't like what I said because you felt like I was being disingenuous because I talk about how somebody shipped a package to me? The customer is always right. The readers are saying that you need to go deeper with your story arc and things that the customer is always right. You're trying to sell a book. You're trying to get an IP off the ground. You got to get some people to believe in it. But I'm not going to believe in it if you don't halfway believe in it, especially if you spend most of your time deflecting. I told you I got black pills for y'all tonight.
Still think that looks like a bullet.
I'm just saying, look, because here's the thing. Black Comic Lords was an idea in Herschel's head, Paul's head, Derek's head, my head. It was an idea. And now it's something bigger than all of us. And here's the thing about that. We get criticized for how we run it. We get criticized for how we operate it or whatever. It's fine. We got big shoulders. We don't mind. We'll take that. But at the same time, understand we are consumers. We buy the product. We buy it. If it's good, we're going to buy it.
A lot of it.
Yep.
But look, if you wait, if you listen, I am a preacher and the just shall live by faith. However, don't tell me your book is good and you want me to invest in it and you won't even send me a copy. If you're not even got enough if you ain't got enough invested in your marketing to send a few free books, then I don't know what to tell you. Send an ash can. Send me 2 or 3 pages. Send me some art. Grease the wheels. This is an engine. It needs oil. I'm just saying, because what happens there, when the engine don't get no oil, what happens? The engine locks up.
Sure
and when
does.
the engine, and when Paul, check this out. When the engine locks up at Black Comic Lords, you know what we do? We talk about Marvel and DC.
Uh-huh.
And let the church say amen.
Oh, damn. Rich is out here putting a flamethrower at people today.
Just saying.
He ain't lying, though. He ain't lying. All right. So here's the thing. We talk about supporting our Black indies. There's a Black indie out right now. People should be throwing their support on. That is objectively good. We talked about validation, right? Why do we have to get validation from others? There's a Black book that's out right now that has won Eisner's That means it's objectively good. That means even they recognize that it's good.
Other folk already approved it.
Derek, put the picture up. Not that one. The Bitterroot.
No.
Well, I don't see the Bitterroot picture. Let's see.
Derek, you're messing up my groove right now, dude.
Okay, there we go.
Bitterroot.
Bitterroot.
Boy, you know what? Stay tuned. I'll be right back. I got something for that too.
Is he going to the bathroom? All right. So you swallow enough black pills, you sometimes go to the bathroom.
Exactly. See, we need to avoid it.
This is quality. This is comic books at its peak. I didn't say black comic books. I said this is comic books at its peak. Art, story, plot. The fact that it has a demonstrable educational value in every issue. This is art. Chef's kiss, right?
Yeah.
One of the things Angel said earlier was, we're the tastemakers. We're the trendsetters. We're the people that invented jazz. We're the people that invented blues. We're the people that invented hip hop. We're the people that invented AAV. And eventually, they try to take it. Try to emulate it. At the very least. What do they say? Emulation's a form of flattery or something like that?
The greatest form of flattery, yes. Mm-hmm.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Not everything is about colonization or cultural appropriation. Sometimes it's just flattery. Bring up that one image that I wanted you to show there.
Okay, after you finish that, Derek, I got something to show y'all.
All right.
No, the smaller one, the one that shows just the bottom half of this picture right here.
All right. There we go.
This one. Now go back to the Bitterroot picture. We have Berg. We got Maeda. Cullen. Now let's go back to the other picture. Coincidence?
I think
not.
No.
This is not Bitterroot in the future. This is not Cullen mutated. This is Uncanny X-Men 14 and 15. Written by Gail Simone. Art by, I think it's David Marquez. I showed this to David Walker last week, and he was like, "What is that?"
Mm-hmm.
He's cool with David Marquez. I will simply say it's an homage. But I'll point out that as we go into the story, show the other slides, Derek. We have this storyline. I mean, that clearly looks like Maeda right there. And that's Berg, an older form of Berg. Or Larry Stroman.
Yeah, good. It could be Larry Stroman.
It
looks like Larry Stroman a lot.
Like yeah, it does
just
look like Larry a lot.
I didn't afford this to Larry Stroman. Shout out to Larry Stroman. Go to the next picture. We have shout out to Gail Simone, by the way. She's written a great story about black mutants in the Old South, sort of a Southern Gothic story. But the white cops, the racist white cops shoot the black man, and what happens? Next slide, Derek. The woman mutates into an Inzondo. I kid. If you read Bitterroot, you know what I'm talking about. But the similarities are kind of there. It's an homage. Or is it? I don't know. You guys decide. I just thought it was worth noting. I just thought it's worth noting.
To answer Vlog's question, yes, Bitterroot has an omnibus.
Yes, it's a must-have. It's a must-have.
No, I got a must-have.
Uh-oh.
I got a must-have for you. Okay.
All right.
Not another black pill. Not another black pill, is it?
No. This is.
Does it require a disclaimer again, Rich?
Okay. Let me just show you this. Look at it real good.
That looks like Sanford Green.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Check out the panels, or check out the splash page, I should say. Okay.
That's from like issue 15, isn't it?
No. This is a short that was done back in, I want to say 2023, a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
From Image Anthology number 10.
Oh. I don't have that.
Yeah. So this is, it's called Line in the Sand, and basically,
let me see if I can beat Derek from going online and buying it.
But it has, if you look at these panels here, you know, it talks about the history, the recorded history of humanity is 5,000 years, but the Sangreans have been known about the 200,000 year history. And so in here at the bottom, it's got the slave trade. They've been fighting the Genu since the slave trade.
And it's called Image Anthology?
Image Anthology number 10. This is for the Bitterroot hardcore.
Of which
They put it in this. They put it in this book. Nobody's. I'm pretty sure you probably get this for $1, maybe. That's why I got this out of $1 bill.
Oh, well, I'm seeing it for $6.
Well, you know,
I don't live in Texas.
If you want to have it, but here's Mariah, Nadia, and Cotton at the bottom. The future.
What's up, Half Dead? It's been a while.
So
Half Dead Customs. Wow.
So shout out to all the people that you know, Bitterroot. That's a dope IP.
They're asking, is that also in the omnibus? Is that are you asking Eclectic if that short is in the omnibus?
I'm not sure.
I don't believe it is.
I don't think it is, because I think that
omnibus is earlier than that.
Yeah, omnibus came out earlier than that. This was like think about it. I want you to think about this. They did this in 2023, before the current run. So this literally was like in between. They were starting to get back at it to create what they have out now.
In essence, those last 2 pages were a prelude to the new movement. The Bitterroot.
Wasn't that in the ash cans? No, it's not a part of the ash can. Nope.
Quickly, while we're on the topic of Bitterroot, I just wanted to share the next interview that we have for Bitterroot with one of the creators. I'm going to be giving away a copy of the Bitterroot Volume 1 trade, and it's signed on the inside by none other than Sanford Green. So there's a signature there.
So, all right.
Can I participate in that giveaway?
No.
You can participate, because you can help make sure that we get it to a good chat member.
Dude, this guy jokes. I can't stand Derek.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, and I was curious. Did you grab this here, bro? Did you grab that?
No. Tell me what year that came out.
This came out in 2007.
I believe I have it. I just don't have that cover. That's the cover I wish I did have. Because that's the one that's written. It's written all in Klingon, right?
Yeah, it's all Klingon.
Yeah.
You got this, Angel?
No.
Yeah. You
No,
you
I don't
have not
that one.
experienced you have not experienced Shakespeare until you read him in the original Klingon.
Original Klingon.
Yeah.
Kapla!
I do have a question for Paul.
No.
Paul, have you been able to get one of these yet?
Oh, here we go with the flexing.
This son of a...
So this
No,
is
I
the
don't
really
have that
this
yet.
is the really rare trade for Bitterroot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really nice cover too.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
Sanford Green. Oh, and it's signed by Sanford Green and Chuck Brown. I forgot.
Do you have this one?
Huh?
Oh,
Do you have this one?
that's a foil something. I can't really
Let's
see
see.
what it is.
I have the regular version, and this one's signed by Sanford Green.
But it's not foil, so it's not as cool as
But it's
this.
signed.
It's not foil.
That's it. Tell them again, dude. You don't mind.
Here we
Yo,
go.
we
Everybody's
listen,
gonna dig out
listen,
stuff.
listen. We kind of just clowning because y'all, we know what y'all want to do. Y'all really ready.
The show. It's about time to end the show, right? We covered all the topics, right?
Covered all the topics. All right, so look, new comics came out today, and there was one comic that came out that
Wait, did Rich have a
I'm
topic?
gonna give this away just so tonight. This is issue number 38 for the Avengers.
that is the Verege. I can't pronounce the dude's name. It's like Verege cover.
Jeffrey, right?
So-
Right?
Yeah, so whenever Derek can get a moment and do spin the
Okay.
wheel or
Yeah,
something,
we'll
I
spin
don't
the
know.
What I'll do is I'll go in and give you all a hashtag that you can put in the chat. Give me a few moments. Keep talking amongst yourselves while I get that set up.
Hashtag save T'Challa.
Hey. Charlie ain't going nowhere.
He apparently he is, brother. That's kind of our point.
All right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The whole Paul, I just have really let me just set the mood, okay? Let me just set the mood with this. Okay. Now the world just don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some.
Keep it
A
going.
man is born. He's a man of means. Then along come two. They got nothing but they genes.
What you talking about?
Different strengths. They got different strengths. Are we gonna really be mad at T'Challa for getting his Mr. Drummond on?
Okay. Let's just jump into the elephant in the room. Derek, can you
They
bring
give
up
it-
some visuals?
They giveth and they taketh away.
Bring the cover up for the first book. Oh, did I even send that to you? So this is actually the cover for, I think, issue 2. The World to Come. Got advertised. We talked about this when it was advertised initially. The first opening thing in the synopsis, not a secret. T'Challa's dead. He died. And now people are scrambling for all his toys. Because T'Challa's got a bunch of stuff. He's got a kingdom. He's got vibranium. Assumably, the Empire might still exist. We'll find out after Imperial. Christopher Priest and Joe Quesada, former Marvel. I don't know if he's former anymore, but he was editor-in-chief at one point at Marvel. Joe Quesada is the one who got Christopher Priest back in 1998 to do Black Panther, Volume 3. Black Panther, Volume 3, number 1, is the singular comic that immediately made me say, after I read it, this is my favorite superhero of all time and always will be. That's the issue that made me make T'Challa my guy. I've been hooked on Black Panther ever since that issue came out. I give mad props for Christopher Priest for revolutionizing the character. Joe Quesada brought him on to work on the Marvel Knights line. Technically, this book is called Marvel Knights: The World to Come, because they ran a whole Marvel Knights run. The concept was that it was going to be a not really 616, hardcore, more dark, serious, adult-themed comics done by Marvel. It was successful enough that beyond the limited Marvel Knights, run, it actually continued. So much so that that volume ran like 62 issues or something like that. The longest run the Black Panthers ever had was by Christopher Priest. So I give the dude mad props. I'm a big Christopher Priest fan because of what he did with the show. So when I found out that the team was joining back together to bring back T'Challa, got excited. Joe Quesada is going to do the art. Joe Quesada is a fantastic artist. Doesn't get nearly enough props for his art. But he's also co-writer of this book. Christopher Priest was very, very emphatic on the point that Quesada's name go ahead of his. If you see on that cover there, it says Quesada Priest Asanove. He was emphatic that he wanted Quesada's name to go first because he's not only the artist, he's also the co-writer. So this book kind of jumps around to about 3 or 4 different time periods, centered around this event called The World to Come. We don't really see T'Challa in the present per se. We see him in the past and we see him in the future. The book starts off very early with T'Challa's death. And in that, Derek, if you'd bring up the pictures.
Starson says, "Say, quit stalling, Paul."
I'm not stalling. I'm setting the stage.
Which pictures, Paul?
Not this one. Go to the next one. Well, I don't have controls over the pictures, so I can't really bring up. Just go to the next one.
This one?
No, not that one.
That's the last one.
This one. No, the one right next to this one.
That's the last one.
All right, go back one. Sorry. All right. So this is the child in the future. He's an old man.
Frustrated. I'm sorry. This is a spoiler discussion.
Bro, you're watching the wrong show if you don't want spoilers. This is a spoiler episode. We should have ran our spoiler disclaimer.
Hold on. Can I find it fast enough? Because Paul hid it from me. I get to blame Paul for this.
Oh, I say it again, you've been had.
T'Challa's in the future. He's an old man. He's kind of mumbling about saying some stuff no one understands. You have this woman come in, this light-skinned woman, braids. Oddly enough, if you look at the outfit she's wearing, that's the same outfit from the Priest run of Queen Divine Justice. That was her costume. That was her outfit she wore in the Priest run. Which begs the question, is she a descendant of Queen Divine Justice? Is she a part of the Jabari tribe like she was? I don't know. But there shouldn't be any light-skinned black people in Wakanda because Wakanda is an unconquered nation. It's never been colonized. It hasn't had an influx of people from without to arguably make light-skinned people. So it's kind of an interesting question. What has happened to Wakanda over the years? Go to the next panel, Derek. So she reveals her face to this guy. They don't say who his name is, but I think his identity is betrayed by the last line you see in the last panel. It says, "The story thus far." This guy, I believe, is Everett Ross. Everett K. Ross was the literary device that Christopher Priest used to have mainstream audiences look at T'Challa from their standpoint and say, who is this guy? Who is the Black Panther from the mainstream person's perspective, the white guy's perspective? So that it's a backdrop story. So let's go forward again, Derek. So this is the page. There's some more stuff to happen. So I'm sorry, we were not very prepared tonight in terms of getting all the pictures together. But this is the page that set the internet on fire. T'Challa has a challenge in the future. Probably, I'm guessing, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years in the future. He's an older guy. And he's at the falls doing his tribal challenge. They reference the fact that the democratization of Wakanda still exists. That was done by He Who Shall Not Be Named. That's still that was Coates that did it, technically. Done by Coates, where Wakanda is still a democracy. The king is basically more of a figurehead, but they still have these tribal challenges for the throne. And T'Challa's whipping this kid's ass. But he's not finishing him off. He refuses to finish him off. He refuses to kill him. And the group that has taken over, kind of like the story back in the day in Doom War, are these clerics. They're the ones who seem to have all the real power in Wakanda. And they've sort of changed the rules or bent the rules with regard to how their traditions go. In the challenge, you could simply make someone submit and you would win. If you defeated the battle, they would win. These clerics say you have to kill the person. T'Challa's like, I'm not killing this kid. You don't know why. He keeps fighting him. He's pounding him. He's knocking him out. T'Challa could have easily finished him off at any given time. He even helps the kid. He throws, the kid falls over the falls. He jumps in the water and saves the kid. It's revealed the kid ultimately gets mad. T'Challa gives him a chance, and the kid defeats him, knocks T'Challa down. But he doesn't kill T'Challa. But the clerics, because they're bending the rules to suit their needs, decide to say, I actually didn't say it, but he declares, I am now the king of Wakanda. Wakanda's mine. And he pulls off this mask, and it's this white kid. Now, there's an earlier panel flashback that shows, very interesting, to the Cult of Bast. Storm is dead. She died in a race war. I don't know what that means. Does anyone know what that means? I don't know what that means. What race war? Are we talking mutant race?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. But Storm somehow dead. That makes me think that this might be an alternate timeline story, because Storm dies in some race war. T'Challa then seeks out Monica Lynn and marries her. And they have a child together, which she says in the flashback is going to be a son. If T'Challa marries Monica Lynn and Monica Lynn's having a son and both of them are black, who's this white dude who T'Challa says is my only son? Those are the words T'Challa used. This is my only son. Doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't have a daughter, by the way. But he says, this is my only son. It could be a scenario like T'Chaka, who adopted Hunter, and T'Challa adopts this white kid, who I think might be Everett K. Ross's kid, to be honest with you. There are a lot of people on the internet going crazy saying, it's the end of Black Panther. This is Marvel and further destroy the Black Panther. First of all, this is written by the guy who made the Black Panther that you guys know and love. He's the one that revolutionized the character. And the things that you say, when I ask you, what is it that you love about the Black Panther? And you give your list of things you love about the Black Panther, Christopher Priest is the one who gave you that list. So we might want to give him the benefit of the doubt for now. He himself said in an interview, the first 2 issues of this 6-issue run were not that good. He said in his own words, this issue that we just read that came out today was not that good. He says the story doesn't really get good until issue 3. So right now he's just world building and setting the stage for what is to come. Everybody has to die at some point. I was more concerned about when they said they're going to kill T'Challa, that they're going to kill him as a young man. That would have upset me. But he's an old dude. It's like, looks like he's 100. That okay, fine. You showed the man's death at his end of his life. But this thing with the white kid, I think, has got more people triggered than anything else. Understandably so. Chillmonger says, forget Priest. Joe Quesada needed to counterbalance the inspiration spawning of an Ibrahim Traore.
Well.
Rich?
I'm gonna say this. I think that because of what has happened to this character in the last couple of years, people are triggered. It was just a few issues ago, people were losing their mind over Storm and Wolverine. They wanted to cancel. They wanted to cancel the writer then, but they gave him some grace. He I guess he redeemed himself because now it's up to issue number 10. Okay. I guess for me as a Black Panther fan, and I always say this in a facetious way, I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan. I wasn't triggered by it. It didn't really, I'll be honest, it really didn't bother me. And the reason why it didn't bother me is because, one, it's comics. It's comics. As a man of faith who lives by a body of scripture, none of this stuff's supposed to bother me because doesn't really matter. It doesn't. It's a low 2 in the scope of life because I am a Black man in love with a Black woman. I have Black children. I spend my time with Black people. Hence, all of you guys and gal. So my circle and my sphere of influence, I serve at a Black church. So this is a small 2. Now, I am not going to belittle or say that this doesn't matter. It matters to some more than others. And so for that, I'm going to be respectful. I will say that it's not the best choice I think Priest could have made, but I'm not going to just throw Priest under the bus. I'm going to let him cook. I suggest that everybody lets him cook. Now, Maxine Shaw, you said already.
Yeah, this Maxine Shaw's going off. Calling out my man Maria. I deli effed up too, but he knew he wasn't being malicious. He was just mistaken. But Priest knows what he's doing. That's the thing. That's the thing.
And again, I get it. I really, really get it. I do. All I'm saying is that this is a story, guys. A story. We don't know the end of the story. We don't like the beginning of the story. But it's a story that's got to be told. Any story worth its salt is not going to grab you and no. Look, it's Paul the Solicits came out months ago. The king of Wakanda is dead. Y'all knew he was gone,
but nobody's talking about death. Nobody's talking about that. People are talking about Katana,
the white kid. Okay, y'all upset at Eminem. Y'all upset at Slim Shady.
Oh, sometimes.
Oh my God, he's about to be known as the Eminem Panther.
Did you hear the Disney Plus announcement on the new Wakanda show that's coming up next year? Wakanda 90210.
Oh, okay.
Stop.
All I know is I just want to know one thing: is he serving raisins with the potato salad?
Why he got to look like Ryan Gosling too?
I mean, bro, all I'm saying is that if and I get it, you know, the guys don't like the way this character's been done. At this point, I'm gonna be honest.
It's one bad thing
after another. Like who was it? Who just said that? Heimdall all seer. Y'all putting these writers in y'all crosshairs and don't understand that this is a character owned, controlled, and governed by a corporation called Disney. If you got any smoke, respectfully, if you have any smoke for anybody connected to this character, look at the top. Look at the very top of this thing. Because as long as you down here in the trenches with me, the Peckerwoods is up at the top laughing at you.
Sure are all day.
Because you're giving them all the pub they want. Most of the people that y'all saying don't buy the book, gonna buy the book out of this curiosity. Casual fans are gonna say, well, what's the big deal? And white fans are gonna buy it because they've been looking to see this for a minute. Maybe y'all upset about that. Either way, whoever should catch you, the people that should catch your rage should be Marvel. And y'all continue to do this. I told you, I got black pills. Y'all keep handling this. They not gonna change. They not gonna change. Born 360, mythology is incredible, is important to culture. I agree, but they not gonna change. Mythology can be written by black folks. It can be owned by black folks, but the wreck that y'all running after a character that is not owned by you. You might have the comics, you might have the action figure, but let me tell you what's on the back of that comic. Marvel.
It sure is all day.
You know, it's all fun and games when we have race swapping of characters in the MCU and race swapping of characters. After the MCU does it, they do race swap the characters in the comics, or they do black versions of all of these legacy characters. It's all fun and games until it happens in reverse, right? And it was funny. Chillmonger's in the chat. Chillmonger did a video about why the powers that be have done what they've done with T'Challa, not recasting him. And he basically says, because he had crossed that threshold of being a mainstream superhero, not a black superhero, a mainstream superhero, that's more powerful because you had little white kids dressing up as Black Panther.
And
Halloween costumes, right?
Yes, sir.
There's a video of this little white kid with his Black Panther costume on, and he's a little portly white kid, and he's very proud of being Black Panther. That's a powerful image, and that's a powerful mindset, and that's a powerful, thing to accomplish, where the mainstream embraces a character as a superhero, not a black superhero, but just a superhero, the same way they embrace Superman and Batman and Spider-Man. And they weren't thinking about his color. That's, if you can control the minds of the youth, if you can make them look at this character and say, that's just a dope superhero, that changes the game.
It does.
You can't sit there and say, well, we can't put this comic book out with, this black character because it's just not going to sell because people aren't going to embrace that. Well, they did. $1.3 billion later, they did.
Mm-hmm.
White kids dressing up like Black Panther.
Yep.
They did.
And they got some culture for it. Got to see some real
toys.
Mm-hmm.
They did. The excuses are over. So when Chadwick Boseman dies, hey, now we have an excuse to put pause.
All of it. I mean, look,
it's just a mantle. It's just a mantle. Let's not focus on Black Panther. You know what's a bigger issue? Wakanda. Wakanda is what our emphasis needs to be. Let's talk about the people of Wakanda. They're more important. Let's not even make, he doesn't even have to be king anymore. We're going to get this writer. We're going to tell him, you know what? Let's, why don't we try saying he gets kicked off the throne? He doesn't have to be king anymore. He can still be Black Panther, kind of, sort of, but it's a democracy now. Let's embarrass him. Let's drag him, kick him off the throne. What about his relationship with Storm? Coates put them. He says they don't have to be married. They could just be two Black superheroes that are in love and just vibe. And they see each other on the weekends. And she can be an X-Men. He can be Black. But we can just do it. No. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that.
You and I know, Paul.
No, that doesn't sound.
But see, you and I know, Paul, that this is what the powers that be do. And I guess the reason why I'm black pilled toward this is because this is literally what they do. Are we really just upset and surprised that this has happened to this character? And I understand that people want to see this character in a better light because they would not do mainstream white characters like that. I'm fully aware of that. I know that. The thing is about this is this. Black Panther as a IP has the potential to do a whole lot. They have nerfed this character.
Simply.
And
made them run amok.
There's two ways that this could go. They either going to strip him and rebuild him, or they're going to keep the disintegration of this character on. I don't know if this is canon. I don't know. My question to everybody is this canon?
Well, here's my answer to that. Here's my answer to that. A couple things. They said Storm was dead. She's not dead. Morea Ayodele killed her in his run, but brought her back. Secondly, Monica Lynn is dead. She died in the Black Panther annual. Now, the question becomes, was that Black Panther annual in which Monica Lynn was shown to have died of cancer canon? It raises the question, was that story canon or was it an alternate story? But as far as I know, I just assume Monica Lynn's been dead all this time. The last time we saw her in comics was when T'Challa married Aurora, and she saw it on television and cried.
Now, Maxine Shaw brings up, she says the BP annual wasn't canon. And see, that's the thing, too. I think the Black Panther fan base needs to know from Marvel or somebody what's canon and what's not. Because as powerful as Black to the Future was,
yeah,
if it was canon, why are they having such a hard time bringing Storm and T'Challa together? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Well, a couple things on that. One, what's her face? I'm looking at her face. Why can't I say her name? Geez, Rich, the woman we interviewed who's writing a book with John Jennings.
Oh, to Angelique Roche.
Thank you, Angelique Roche. Angelique Roche said she did the Marvel Voices storyline where T'Challa and Aurora got married, had kids, had grandkids, and she said that story was canon. So they will eventually be married. We had that from Angelique Roche herself.
So suffice to say that maybe your daughter will read that story someday. We'll probably be dead. We'll be
probably my grandkids. But here's the thing. Marvel Knights was originally promoted as not really being a canon, almost an alternate story.
Right.
Until it wasn't. Remember, it got so successful. If you pull up your volume 3 of Black Panther, those first few issues were called Marvel Knights.
Yep.
But when they decided to make it an ongoing series, they removed the Marvel Knights moniker off the subsequent issues, and it just became the Black Panther series. So it became canon. This is the same team that did that.
Right.
Joe Quesada is a big muckety muck at Marvel. He doesn't plan a project since 2017 to have it be an alt Elseworld story. Joe Quesada does storylines that matter. He's Joe Quesada. He brought in Christopher Priest. I don't think they're doing that just to do a limited series alternate story. That's my fear.
I wanted them to do, and I've said this a couple times on our channel, I wanted to see an old man T'Challa story. Not before he died, not geriatric T'Challa. I wanted an old man T'Challa story, and I know we got flashes of that in that book.
Right,
Chillman. You know, in the Marvel Voices and in the annual. But I really want a story. I want a full story, because I would love to see him talk about kind of what Priest is doing in a way, but they literally like, okay, we're going to hit him with this. We're going to hit him with this. He did this. He did this. He didn't do that. That was a bad idea. And then the white boy shows up. I did not care for that. I'm being 100% honest. I did not. And here's the thing about me. I said this about Wakanda Forever. It was a good movie. I just didn't like it. Me and a whole bunch of people. But cinematically or whatever, it was a good movie. But it was not something that you just like. No. My thing is, when it comes to this, I don't know what Priest is what story he's trying to tell.
They're trying to sell comics, dude.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly.
They're gonna sell hella comics. They're gonna sell crazy comics. You're gonna have white boys on Whatnot talking about this book.
I don't think it was a mistake or by accident that he does an interview before this book drops and says, yeah, the first 2 issues are not that good, but issue 3 is good. What does that mean as you as a fan? Oh, well, I got to stick around to at least 3. And once you have 3 issues, I might as well do the last 3 issues too.
I just don't know if I can take Slim Shady for 3 more issues or 2 more issues.
Eminem Panther.
Eminem Panther. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
Please stand up. All I need now is him to say something bad about his mom. We know this is Eminem then. and again,
it's got to be Everett K. Ross's kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the kid's name. What is the kid's name? Kitsuma. What's his name called?
Katamya. It's spelled Katima, but it's actually pronounced Katamya for some reason.
Now I will say this. I don't know why they settled on that name, but it might as well be KKK.
Wow. Now you're taking it a step too far.
To the Black Panther fans, it might as well be the Klan. I mean, this was a cardinal betrayal, bro. This is not going. This is not going over well with the fans.
She goes, you know how in Storm 3 the stunt backfired, so Priest is about to catch it 3 times over. Exactly. I give Maria Ayadela shit about that still to this day. About issue 3. Don't do that again. Don't do that again. That was bad. I know it sold books, but don't do that again.
Hey,
I think it's
about both.
the same lines.
I mean, I hope. Listen, I don't now. Everybody you can make up your own mind whether or not you're going to continue to collect this book or not. I'm going to collect it. I'm a comic book head, and I've read crazy stories where I didn't agree what the writer did, but I continue to collect the book. This will be no different for me. I want to see where he goes with it. You know what I'm saying? I am a Priest guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, Priest wrote, Black Panther, in my opinion, the best Black Panther story arc ever, The Client. But he also wrote, Superman Lost, which nearly won an Eisner. This guy can write. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to throw him in the bed with John Ridley like some of y'all doing. It's one issue, guys. And I get it. It's a triggering issue. It is. Marvel gets off with that. You know what I'm saying? And again, y'all laying this at Priest, but y'all need to be putting y'all rage toward Marvel as far as I'm concerned. Because Priest couldn't have wrote one word without Marvel's consent. Now, here's the thing about that. If Marvel is sitting behind the scenes saying, Christopher, respectfully, I know you created the Dora. I know you created the Haraji, the White Wolf. You did all of that wonderful stuff. But what we need is we need Slim Shady to be the Black Panther or the White Panther. That's what we need. We need more white people to pay attention to this black character that we're killing. That's what we need.
I understand, though. If there's one thing I want everyone to get out of this, is to not jump the gun and jump to conclusions and be presumptuous about what's happened or what is going to happen. He's just given glimpses of things. We still don't know the context of everything. And I think Christopher Priest has earned my grace. In Priest, I trust. And understand also, it's not like he hasn't done this before. People forget. Yep. He's the one who introduced that T'Challa had a white brother. Yep. Right? He's the one that introduced Casper Cole as the guy who took over as Black Panther from T'Challa. He has done this before. If you have read the books, this should not surprise you. It's the same dude.
You know what's funny? I actually talked about Casper Cole on my show last Sunday. And I said, just kind of, matter of factly, that I felt like by the time Casper Cole shows up in Marvel Knights in that run, I think Priest has started to check out. And I'm not saying that that's what he did, but it is interesting that he introduces this character that for 12 issues, right? That's what they did. They ran with that story for 12 issues, 2 volumes, basically. Or 1 big volume, if you want to call it 12 issues. But the thing is, I don't even think people are even looking at that he did.
They're not. This is our era of social media where people are virtual signaling. They're looking for every little thing. They see a picture. They probably haven't even bought the book, right? All they see is the picture of the White Panther kid, and they go, they see this popping on the internet. What? That's not Black Panther. I hate it. Did you read the book? No. Did you buy the book? No. Have you ever read Christopher Priest's run? No. Do you know who Hunter is? No. Do you know who Casper Cole is? No.
Look. Maxine Shaw is not having it. She's not having it. She like, nah.
Oh Lord, we know Black Panther had a white brother. We know Storm had been screwing a wildebeest. That doesn't make it okay. I'm not saying it's okay. To be clear, let's be clear. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just not saying. What I'm saying is, don't be shocked when the writer who did those things writes this too. He's being consistent, but he also wrote. It's like if 5% of something that you don't like, does that throw out the other 95% that's good? This is still the guy that created the Black Panther that you know and love, who set up the run that
they don't care, Paul. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. We live in a cancel culture, literally a cancel culture. This people get wrote off easily. And I'm not saying that people necessarily are doing that per se, but I mean, look, everybody has the right. If you're a consumer, I said it earlier, the customer's always right. If you guys are pissed, then be that. Be that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, understand that, you know what I mean, this is a story. Let's see where it goes. If you decide to check out and you say, I'm not buying another issue, that's fine. I'm going to be honest with you. When I was looking at all the variants for this book, there is a Storm and T'Challa variant. There's a Storm variant. I mean, they were very aware what they were doing and how much trolling that they were going to do. So,
yeah. Shout out to Bo Biggs. Bo Biggs, super chat. Appreciate you.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Now, let me just say this to all of you guys out here. We done lost some people. People upset with us, Paul.
Yeah, Maxine Shaw saying they're y'all trying to trivialize legitimate issues again. Priest is out of touch with the Black Panther community. He is taking advantage of fandom's raw feelings to sell books.
No. I'm not saying that at all. Listen. If you got a full clip, Maxine, go ahead and fire every bullet. All I'm saying is that Marvel co-signed this. I know the fact that Priest wrote it and people are upset that he wrote it or whatever, but who's to say that he wasn't instructed to? Now, for him to come out and say, now I'm gonna be honest with you, this is me, don't throw no stones at me, but if I was Christopher Priest, I probably wouldn't have said, you know what, y'all ain't gonna like the first 3 issues, just stay with me. I would have said that. I would have just I would have just cut off my notifications, and I'd have been like John Ridley. When John Ridley was writing this run, no one heard from John Ridley. He just kept putting books out, and Paul kept trashing. I kept trying to, hold on, Paul.
You kept saying, give the man grace. Give
him some grace. I did.
I kept telling you this is objectively, legitimately bad. And I could give you page by page of every issue that run why the book was bad. I don't want to talk about that, man.
All I'm saying is, look, y'all, get it out your system tonight. Get it out your system, because tomorrow, back here on Black Comic Lords, we're gonna be talking about this book here. All right, tomorrow night. So I don't want the chat be inundated with questions about T'Challa and this World of Comic Book when Storm has her own book, doing very well, top 25 book, up to issue number 10. Well, we know 10 is getting ready to come out, but this is issue number 9. So, I mean, look, have at it. I mean, get it all out. All I'm saying is that it's a story, guys. And, I have to believe that Priest has something he's working with. Now, I'm not, let me give you a rating. If I had to rate this out of 5 stars, I'm giving this only 2. Only giving it 2, because we didn't get anything really earth-shattering except Slim Shady. That's all we got.
I mean, the other earth-shattering thing was the fact that Monica Lynn is not dead. If this does end up being canon, Monica Lynn is not dead. We know that T'Challa is going to marry Monica Lynn and have a child, and Aurora dies. That's all, to me, screams, God, I hope this is not canon. Because I don't want those things to happen as a fan. I am a T'Challa forever fan. What Hudlin did in this run is what I want to see, because this couple took over Marvel Comics. This couple was the most powerful entity in Marvel Comics. This couple's marriage was enough that the Watcher came out and said, "This is a big deal, y'all. Y'all need to watch this. This is what I want." Black Man wrote this, unencumbered.
Now, shout out to Joe Illich with the super chat.
Hi, Joe.
Absolutely. Thanks, Joe.
Make sure y'all pre-order. Joe Illich has Bloodletter coming out. I think you can pre-order issue number 2 at this point. If I think the FOC on issue 1's done, but you can you can pre-order issue 2 and 3 from your LCS. New Spawn.
Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
A New Spawn takeoff. What do you call it?
Yeah.
What's the term that's used? Spinoff. Thank you. Spinoff series.
Spinoff. Yep.
Now, I like Amir's comment. He says, "I'll say this. It seems like pre-sport beefy fans up because y'all sure ain't talking enough about Ultimate Black Panther."
Exactly.
I mean,
this goes back to what Maxine was saying. It's about selling books.
You know, I'm gonna just say that, you know, Black Panther, that dude is around. Y'all say what you want, but he's in this book here. Just came out, of course. He's in the Avengers, I guess. He's back in the Avengers.
He's coming back. He's coming back. He just came back in a cameo.
And he's also in Imperial, I think. I haven't read my Imperial book yet, but, you know, Wakanda's in it. The Empire, Wakanda, you know, the Intergalactic Empire is in it. So there's a lot of Black Panther-esque or Wakandan-esque or Wakandan stuff out here for us to consume or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want this just to be a bitter pill that everybody is, you know, kind of swallowing right now.
Bite your tongue, Maxine Shaw. Don't put that. Don't speak that into existence. That's just
what did she say? Hold on now. What did she say?
She says that she likes Ultimate Black Panther, but watch and see they're gonna make Emma Frost the Woman of Light.
You know what? See.
Don't speak that into existence.
Shout out to Maxine.
I need to have some hope in comics. Brian Edward Hill is giving me that hope.
You know what? Look, all I know is that there's a God. I mean, feel how y'all feel about this book, but we talking about it, and at least we're talking about it.
Yeah,
you know. So
mission accomplished.
Protest, you can say, you know what? I'm done. I'm not buying another issue. Blah blah blah. Well, you know, guess what? I'm not mad at you for it. I can't do nothing but celebrate what you're doing. Because stand on business. That's all I'm saying. If you're gonna stand on that hill, die on that hill. I can't die on that hill because you know what? I love comic books too much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like Paul said. You know what I'm saying? This thing is real for me. This here real for me. This is real for me. I'm not gonna get caught up. I got too many good books. I got Gunslinger. I got the Herculoids. I got Doom Academy. I got Moon Knight. I got Absolute Wonder Woman. I got Gunslinger. I got Department of Truth. I got Avengers. I got Batman. I got stacks on stacks on stacks. I got Monkey Meat. What y'all want me to do? I'm not gonna sit there and cry with y'all all night. Y'all better get some more comic books in y'all life. Now I will say that. Get some more comic books in your life. Because if BP is your guy, and I get it.
Styles of serious comics.
Stop doing this to yourself. Go back and read the Hudlin run. Go back and read the Priest run. Go back and read List. Go back and read Jonathan Mayberry. There's a whole lot of back issue stuff you can go get, but don't sit up here and kill yourself over one book. Please.
Message.
You got a whole omnibus of Black Panther peakness right here.
You know, there's a Black Panther. There's the Intergalactic Wakanda. It's in a book form now. Y'all go read that. Now, Paul will tell you, while that book was out, I was killing coats. I hated that run. You know what I'm saying? But y'all were like, oh man, it's good. It's very good. And I was like, what? Come on now. T'Challa a slave? Y'all put up with T'Challa being a slave.
That's the ultimate deconstruction.
Bruh.
Right. Not upset about that
But
one.
how did he end the run though?
He was the emperor. When it was all said
The
and
emperor,
done,
dude, of an entire friggin' intergalactic empire for which Jonathan Hickman is now writing an Imperial.
And here's the thing about it. See, and let's not distract from the fact that Wakanda actually became a colonizer. They colonized 5 galaxies.
Why you got to bring up old stuff though? See, this is why we can't have black unity. You want to
So
keep
y'all
focusing
can't
on the past.
have the glory. Y'all can't have the glory without the gory. I'm sorry. Hey, Angel.
Yeah.
You know what I know? That a colonizer's gonna colonize. Well,
All day
said, you know what? The Wakanda said, you know what? We don't want one colony. No, we don't want one galaxy. Never mind, there's hundreds, thousands of planets in a galaxy. No, we don't want one. Let's go two.
All of it. Yep.
You know what?
And
the market was like, shh, boss, come on now. If we're gonna do 2, we might as well do 3. And you know what they said? You sure right. You know what? Let's not do 3. Let's do 4. And then there was a Koye in the back talking about, man, let's just do 5. Let's just do 5. So you got 5 galaxies. That's the reason why y'all so caught up in the dude got Slim Shady for a son, and y'all forget that the empire of Wakanda exists, and it's over 5 galaxies.
It may not exist in this world thing because Imperial is out, and it's not looking too good for the Empire of Wakanda right now. Anthony Mazzano had a question. He says, Paul, question, are there Black Panther friends calling for this comic to get canceled? And is it possible that Christopher Priest got forced to write for this comic and he had no choice? First of all, there's always going to be some segment of any fandom that will always ask for the cancellation of that fandom because we live in a cancel culture. So, yes. I'm sure there are people on Twitter right now saying, cancel the run. I hated it. First issue. He didn't really actually do a whole lot. He gave flashes of events, but we don't have the full story. It's one issue. Am I happy with some of the things I've seen? To be clear, I am not happy. I don't want Storm dead. I want T'Challa to be married to Storm. I want them to have big, beautiful babies with white hair and lightning bolts and panther claws and heart-shaped herb necklaces taking over the world and subjugating the world under Wakanda. That's what I want.
Now, him, dog, I know that it was in.
That's what I want. However, do I want Slim Shady? That's going to stick with me now. Do I want Slim Shady to be the new Black Panther? Hell no. I'm not happy to see that. I don't even want to. I don't even want to. Even if on in the next issue, first page, he dies. I have that visual image of Slim Shady as Black Panther for a moment. I didn't want that in my head. To be clear. But to understand, it's one issue. There's 6 issues.
Yeah. Now,
let's read some more before we say let's cancel the book. And to your last point, your last part of your question, did Christopher Priest get forced to write this comic for Marvel? Christopher Priest doesn't get forced. No one gets forced to write for Marvel unless you're under contract.
I bet you if they added a couple zeros to that check,
it's not being forced, that's being persuaded.
He probably started off, the check was probably, Hey, Chris, we got a job for you. We're going to give you 5 racks. We're going to give you 5 racks to write this story.
Do I think Marvel is above influencing writers to do storylines to fit some agenda? Absolutely.
No,
I have you have to look no further than the one I hate the most by He Who Shall Not Be Named by Me on this channel.
Oh,
I purely think that was Marvel directives. I 100% believe that was Marvel directives.
What happened.
Because that guy is actually a legitimately good writer, but he wrote bad.
Yeah.
How do you make someone who is legitimately a good writer write that badly? He's getting directives. So yes, I believe that happens. Did it happen in this instance? I don't know. It's Christopher Priest and Joe Quesada. Joe Quesada is a co-writer, so take that with a grain of salt. I don't know.
They put a couple of zeros on. He who pays the piper calls the tune, baby.
All I'm saying is we don't know what's going to happen, so let's see what happens first.
He who pays the piper calls the tune. Who is calling the tune? Marvel. And still undisputed troll champion of the world, Marvel Comics.
Marvel really, you ain't lying on that one. Marvel straight up trolled all of us, all Black Panther fans with this issue. This is a straight troll because and the fact that they even let us know in advance. Guess what we're doing with this book? They told us in advance we're killing the child.
In case you weren't aware, here
we got a whole segment of our fandom saying recasttchalla, recasttchalla. What does Marvel do?
Recast.
We're killing T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know what's funny?
We want you to recast T'Challa because it doesn't make sense for you to kill T'Challa in the MCU just because Chadwick Boseman dies. So you know what Marvel does? We're gonna kill T'Challa in the comics.
Let me tell you why this is very, very. This is nothing but a troll job by Marvel.
Straight troll job.
You have Slim Shady in a mask. And what do we say about Black characters in a mask? What does Fanon say about the mask? We wear the mask. They had him in a mask the whole episode. And what do? They pull the mask off. Surprise. Y'all gonna stop letting Marvel get under y'all skin. They don't pay us. We pay them.
Exactly.
Not only did Priest kill Storm, he kept repeating, or Quesada, one of the two, whoever wrote this line, their marriage was a mistake.
Oof.
He said it probably 3 times in the book. This marriage was a mistake. I'm looking at Reggie Hudlin, who just posted, yeah, that marriage was everything. It was cool. I wish they had continued it. I'm sorry they destroyed the marriage. They wrote in the book 3 times, marriage was a mistake. So yeah, I think there's something going on here. I don't know what it is.
That was a fanboy. I mean, to be honest, that was a fanboy. That was like a fanboy thing that fanboys were saying that.
Yeah.
When that happened.
Yeah.
That was the X-Men fans were saying that when that happened. So Priest is playing in a toy box that he's familiar with. And he's also very aware that we know that 1, he knows better. 2, he don't really care like that. At the end of the day, the guy has done a phenomenal job on Black Panther. I don't know if this is going to be or gain him any more followers or people go unfollow. All I know is that it's Marvel.
We'll see how the sales on issue 2 go.
Oh, it's gonna fall like a rock.
I don't know. I think people will be intrigued to know what happens. They want to know what happens with Slim Shady. They want to see what baby was born from Monica. They want more details because we haven't got anything. To be clear, we have not gotten anything yet. We've gotten some glimpses.
Derek, pull up that last panel.
Oh, shout out to Tron World. Before we do that, shout out to Tron World.
Thank you.
Show me the money. Yeah! Louder! Show me the money. I need to feel you, Jerry. Show me the money. Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money. I love black people.
Now, the last one, the last panel, the Slim Shady panel. Now, yeah. Don't he look like he's saying he about to clean out his closet?
Looks like a serial killer. Go to the next picture, Derek. No. Before that, right there. So once they put a source of this on the internet, and first of all, the picture on the right is from the Marvel Rivals video game. Looks like Ryan Gosling. But here's where I start worrying, because obviously the Marvel Rivals game came out before this issue dropped and the skin came out. Video games, cartoons, this is the stuff that gets the youth involved in comics. And if we start giving them images of a white Black Panther, we joke all the time. What if they made Black Panther white? We talk about that in jest all the time until it's no longer a joke. What if they made the Black Panther white? Damn near almost got that, could have had that in Priest original run with Hunter. That was his whole shtick. I should have had the kingdom. The kingdom should have been mine. I was the first son. I was adopted, but I was the first son.
Matter of fact, wasn't Hunter in Eve Ewing's run?
No, he was in the Sam Wilson Captain America storyline as the villain. A racist villain, which didn't make any sense all of a sudden. The guy who was raised in Wakanda from basically a baby decides to become a racist all of a sudden. That just, I don't know.
There's a lot of bad writing going around. I'm gonna just say
a lot of bad writing going on. I don't know if it's editorial giving writers directives to do certain things.
We'll blame it on the directives.
I really honestly think it's a lot of editorial decisions at Marvel that just give me pause.
You know what? My wife.
This is dangerous. This is dangerous stuff. That's why I think I personally, it makes me go pause, because the potential for this can be bad.
My wife was I'm gonna be in Orlando in a couple of weeks, and my wife asked me, did I want to go?
Are we staying at Paul's house? That's what she asked you.
No, she didn't say that. She just wanted to know what day that y'all was gonna come get me. I gave her that information.
Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday. But she asked me, did I want to go to Disney? You know, they got a deal where you can go to four parks for like $160 or something.
Yeah.
And so I think that I am going to align myself in protest. I'm about a comic book, but I ain't gonna go to Disney. Is that good enough? Is that good enough, BP fans?
Are you gonna go to Universal instead?
What if I don't go to Disney?
You can go to Universal instead?
Man, you know what? That's I won't say
you can't do Universal if you're not going to go to Disney, because Universal has Islands of Adventure, which has a whole bunch of Marvel stuff.
Islands of Adventures is fun.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you, man, it's like crack. It just keep calling me, man. It's calling me.
The fix.
We got a giveaway to do.
We have a giveaway. Let's make Angel big. Big up on an angel.
Yep.
Yep. What was the hashtag? Hashtag
Save.
Save
The
T'Challa.
hashtag is
T'Challa.
save T'Challa. Save T'Challa. Let me do this. Let me put that on screen so we can see how many entries we have so far. I thought we had more. Maybe this is a little bit behind.
Who this woman? Hashtag save T'Challa. If y'all want to be in on this, y'all got to put the hashtag up.
You can see the count right now. 11 entries. I thought we had a lot more entries than that. So
Anybody care about
11 people. We got like 81 people watching this.
Caring about the,
people want this book.
Anybody caring about Black Panther?
This is what this issue has done. It has made all the fans no longer want
cynical. Cynical.
Save this comic book.
Fast Billy Jackson. That's not even funny. That's not even funny, bro. Oh, that might have to go trending next year. Tomorrow.
Bring that back up again. Bring that right back up. White Wakanda's matter. Yeah, man.
Oh, that's just terrible.
Oh my God, I might post that. I might go ahead and post that. Fast Billy Jackson. That's
serious trolling for real.
Okay, White Wakanda's matter. Listen, shout out to all the white South African people coming to America because they oppressed.
So, apparently, now that they're here, they're just abusing each other and one off their spouse.
That's a doggone shame. Yeah, who y'all gonna blame for that?
So we have 19 entries. Are we ready? Are we ready to go?
Only 19 entries.
That's all right. They don't care. They don't care.
That's what a single bad issue can do.
Put this poor sick horse out the pasture. Maxine Shaw. Let me ask y'all a question. Let me just ask Maxine. I got a question for you, Maxine. First of all, I like your energy. I like that you got smoke for everybody about T'Challa. I ain't mad at it at all. I'm not mad at it at all. I will ask this too. My question to you is this: in a perfect world, where do you want T'Challa? I just want to know where you want it. Where do you want it? Where do you want him, Maxine? Because, and the reason why I'm asking that question is because to restore T'Challa to his former glory or a greater glory is going to take a minute that we probably will not see for a little while. We don't have another Black Panther run. Ain't no telling when we're going to get it. It's summertime. We don't have no solicits for as far as the fall goes. So we don't know if and when T'Challa will be back on the throne or if all. But in a perfect world, what would you like? With Aurora. Don't care where. Okay. Now that makes sense. Now I can rock with that. Because to me, that's the story I think everybody wants, but they don't necessarily know. They don't necessarily know what to do with it. Shout out to Dwayne McDuffie, man. If y'all want to read a T'Challa Storm story, go read the Fantastic Four story arc with T'Challa and Storm in it. When they were part of the Fantastic Four, while Sue and Reed went on vacation. I think y'all would enjoy it if y'all have never read that.
Another storyline to read. Of the two, because Coates basically had two volumes. The first one, A Nation Under Our Feet. The second one was Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda. I really love the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda. I think it's something that's going to get its due in the future as being Marvel's first official, truly Afrofuturism storyline. I think it's something that'll be taught in college classrooms. The Nation Under Our Feet, I had a lot of problems with, in terms of making.
Which is weird to me because that's like my favorite Coach run.
I know we're reversed on that. My problems with that was sort of the disrespect given to T'Challa, the fact that he made Wakanda a democracy. I had some issues with that. But the one thing I really loved about that run that it doesn't get enough credit for was that it's a love story. The love story that Coates wrote in that was even better, honestly, than the love story that Hudlin wrote when they got married. Because all the stuff that people were criticizing, all the stuff that people say on the internet, oh, well, they're forced together, they're toxic, all that BS that people that don't actually read the comics, Coates addressed in that. They dealt with all their baggage and talked about the fact that, I never should have married you in the first place because it boxed you into a box that you didn't need to be in. You're too big for that box. But I love you and I want to be with you. And she said vice versa. And so they reached a point, and there was just a lot of good poetry in that love story that built organically over time of that run. And they reached the point where they're like, look, we don't have to define what we are. I love you, you love me, we can hang out, we can kick it, we can Netflix and chill. That's just gonna be us. And you can still be your king, you can still be, the X-Men leader, and we'll do our thing, but still rock with each other. That was a perfect place to be. That didn't have to interfere with the fandoms of the Black Panther or the X-Men. He wrote it perfect. And it was a beautiful love story. Gone. Why? Because Black super love is not a thing that the mainstream comics want to promote.
That's why we need some of the independents to promote something along those lines. I mean, I'm like, and I like the antagonists because that's a family, and the Destructors and Ultima in love with each other, whatever. But they're villains at the end of the day. I need some hero love.
Yeah.
So
we got 22. Yeah.
We're up to 22. Did we stall enough?
I think it's time to go.
All right. Derek's ready to go. Let's roll it. Various artists.
Man, he just showed up a minute ago. He just got here. Right. You know what?
I hope you hit the like button, various artists. If you have not hit the like button, you will be disqualified.
Congratulations, various artists. So the way you can redeem this is to email us at blackcomiclords@gmail.com. And we will be sure that Angel gets, be sure to send us your address so that we can get that to Angel and she can send you your book.
Yep.
Amir says, I think I'm disappointed because I thought Tosin was going to be the one that took T'Challa out. Who?
See, there y'all go. See, that's another one. And you know what? But see, to me, Tosin is a thread that Tosin's a thread that they can play with.
What's up, Jeff?
Said, what the hell are y'all talking about now? Well, you know what we talking about, Jeff.
You know what we're talking about.
You know what we're talking about. We're talking about Slim Shady.
Oh, God. We talk about good Black Panther writers, and then Jeffrey Thorne shows up. Makes me angry all over again.
So what? See,
oh, wait. Jeff, I had a question for you. There's a book Marvel's coming out with that your name was attached to. Oh, crap. It's like a crossover story. I can't remember it now. I want to say it's a mutant storyline that's coming out. Revelations or something. The Vigil. He says The Vigil. The Hellfire Vigil. Yes. Are you doing the X Factor portion of that, or is there something else that you're doing? If you can say. But I saw your name on it, and I was like, all right, so now I got to go ahead and add this to the pull list.
Are you reading Space? Are you reading Space Ghost?
He said more John Wraith. If you don't know what the man's talking about, check out the last several issues of Jeffrey Thorne's X Factor. He not only brought back John. Sorry, I said X Factor. I'm in X Force. He not only brought back John Wraith from the dead, he made him even cooler than he was before and had him do some new feats that he's never done before, which was dope. God, I'm mad about that X-Force being canceled.
Oh, I guess it's about that time.
It's about that time.
It's about that time.
I'm on vacation, y'all.
Oh, that's why you're so lively and not falling asleep like the rest
Oh
of
yeah,
us.
I don't have to get up in the morning. I can go sleep in.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything else they want to talk about? Chat, you guys
No.
good?
That's a loaded question. That's a loaded
Listen,
question.
everybody, please hit the like button, share the video. We're trying to grow our channel. We're trying to hit 5,000 followers before the end of the year. So we got 6 months to do that.
Help me, help you.
What did I say about Space Ghost? I mean, well, I was just curious. I was going to ask Paul if he was reading it.
I have not read. I read the first issue of Space Ghost, but I have not read the subsequent ones.
Man,
the first issue was dope. Very good take. Very good take,
man. I'm enjoying Herculoids. That's a cool comic book.
They could bring back all those Hanna-Barbera properties.
What about the what is it? They were asking me about the Captain Planet.
I never got into Captain Planet back in the 80s when I was a kid. Like that wasn't.
I like seeing them, but I still haven't bought any of that first issue. I saw it. It was nice to see. I just couldn't. I didn't spend any money on it.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
The artist on Space Ghost, Oliver Ariel Olivetti or something like that. Excellent art.
I tell you what, we talk. Speaking of, are you reading any of the Godzilla stuff, Angel?
I haven't. I kind of focused on the indies because I have a couple of budding companies that wanted a review. And when I went to Bach a couple weeks ago now. So I've been kind of focused on these indie comics, just trying to give them some guidance.
Angel out here doing the lowest work. Go ahead on.
Y'all watching tomorrow night. We're gonna have Maria Ayudelli on for another episode of Storm Watch to go over issue number 9 of Storm. All you Black Panther fans, if you're mad, maybe pick up Storm.
Hey, I tell you what, She-Hulk show you she ain't no punk.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, quiet as kept.
Hands.
Just between us and you guys, Maria Ayudelli is trying to make one of the blackest comic runs in a while. Like, if you go down the list, he's got a lot of black characters, taking them off the shelf and brought them into the book. Last issue, he even brought back Blue Marvel for one panel or 2 panels, which I thought was cool.
And on top of that, he's made himself extremely accessible to
too
fans
accessible.
and haters alike.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying what he's doing on Storm.
Shout out to Maggot. Maggot just all like a superstar now.
He made Maggot cool, or at least cooler than he was, which isn't saying much because I hated Maggot.
We do have this really brief promo for tomorrow night,
and we've got my man Bishop is coming into the Storm book,
the Time Traveler,
in the next issue.
Bishop,
here you go, Paul.
You had a promo. You realize that last picture of Storm is actually from issue 10.
Awesome. That's a good cover, isn't it?
But it's the wrong. All right. It was a great intro, though. Video.
10? Well, let me fix it then. I'll fix it before tomorrow night then.
All right.
Try and do too much.
Tell you what, Storm is she locked up. They won't let her out.
Oh no.
And the last page of the issue introduces the storm god above all.
Yeah, she looked old, man. She looked old. She looked old. Abraxas. Uh-oh.
Jeff says he's trying to do a super chat, but it's not working. He'll double up next time. I always appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you, Jeffrey Thorne.
And let's, guys, we want to thank you guys for hanging out with us on tonight. We appreciate all of the commentary regarding Slim Shady. Just want to encourage you in the awesome words of Kendrick Lamar. We gonna be all right.
They're not like us. Oh.
Yeah, they're not like us either. But you know, clearly, Priest is showing he might not be like us either. Don't nobody like us, Paul. They not like us and they don't like us. I'm like, gee, we can't catch a break, man. But real talk, we gonna probably catch up with y'all later. We're gonna it's been 2.5 hours, 70 people. Please get the likes up. Tell a friend, tell a hater. And please remember that it's just comic books, y'all. It's just comic books. It's just comic books. Make sure you're living your life like T'Challa. Make sure you're living your life like Storm. Be T'Challa. Be the change you see, Paul. Be the change you want to see, Paul. Be the change. Be the change, Derek. Even with a signed Sanford Green comic book.
Don't encourage me. Don't encourage me.
Paul's gotta find that one somewhere.
That's
I appreciate Derek limiting his flexing on me today. All right, y'all. Appreciate everyone. Until next time, Black Comic Lords, we got you.